Hello, welcome to Civisitas, the channel that tells you important things about the places you visit. Because if you understand where you are, it is easier to admire the place where you are. In this video, I will mention some points of interest to consider when visiting the Mayapan Archeological Site in the state of Yucatan. The archaeological site of Mayapan, it is located in the northwest of the state of Yucatan, in the municipality of Teco, about 25 miles away from the city of Mérida. Mayapan means flag or banner of the Mayans, and it was the last great capital of the Mayan culture. Different groups coexisted in the region at that time, the most important of which were the Itzaes of Chichen Itza, who were known as the wise initiates or water witches, the Tutulsiues of Uxmal, who were known as those who use virtue, the Cocomes, who were known as those of the lineage of the wood pigeon, and who were the Itzaes forced to withdraw from Chacamputun, and who pilgrimaged for 40 years in the jungle. From this time it was said that they lived under the trees, under the ash, and under the misery, and then some returned to Chichen Itza, while others founded Mayapan. The first signs of population in the area date back to 300 BC and 600 DC, although the splendor of the area reaches until the postclassic period from 1200 to 1450 AD-C. According to the Chilam Balam of Chumayel, around 1185, a notable named Unac Selkawich came to power in Mayapan, who proclaimed to have divine lineage after surviving the attempt to sacrifice him the sacred cenote of Chichen Itza. It was then the headquarters of the so-called Mayapan League, which emerged from a peace agreement between the Mayan states centered on Uxmal, Chichen Itza, and Mayapan. Some authors consider this version a legend, since archaeological studies show that during the time that Mayapan dominated politically and economically the north of the Yucatan Peninsula, both Uxmal and Chichen Itza had already been abandoned. It is believed that the myth was devised by the Mayapan leaders to link their history and prestige to that of the great Mayan cities in the area. "34 years after the conquest of Hunaxil, around 1228, Izamal and other cities rose up against Mayapan, starting a new civil war, this time between Tutulsiues and Cocomes. Eventually, around 1440, one of the Cocomes lords sent more Nahua mercenaries from Cicalango to help end the conflict. However, these new mercenaries also dedicated themselves to capturing slaves during their campaigns, which contribute to deteriorating the political situation of the Cocomes, favoring the Tutul's use by increasing their prestige. However, there is evidence that in full decline, Mayapan was destroyed, burned and partially abandoned in the middle of the 15th century. One of the hypotheses that tries to explain why this happened was that the population began to realize that the dignitaries were not sent by gods to reign, mainly because the people expected the priests to solve the long droughts. As time passed and seeing that they did not actually have that direct contact with the god Chak to make it rain, it was when the Mayan people began to reveal themselves and dissipate, leaving the large cities and creating small communities. Finally, around 1441, Supanshu, Lord of Oxmal, finally managed to defeat the Kokomes, destroying the city of Mayapan and executing the members of the Kokom royal family. Only one of the noble Kokomes, who was in present-day Honduras, survived. Upon his return, this survivor founded the city of Tibolon and the dominion of Sotuta. The city of Mayapan was built in the likeness of Chichen Itza, so its main buildings are a copy of the capital of the Itzaes. The construction style incorporated elements of the architectural of central Mexico, combined with features inherited from the ancient Mayan cities. At the fall of Chichen Itza, Mayapan developed his own style oriented towards the reworking of ancient forms. The city is surrounded by a wall and has an area of 4 square kilometers, where there are approximately 4,000 structures, of which 56 are of great archaeological interest. Inside the area there is a cenote, which restricted access. The main building of Mayapan bears the name of Castle, dedicated to the god Kukulkan, and it is a pyramidal basement of 9 bodies and 18 meters height. You can also see the phenomenon of light and shadow similar to that of Chichen Itza, where the sun illuminates the staircase simulating the descent of Kukulkan. The difference in this place is that it occurs in the 2 solstices, one of June 21 and another on 21 December. In Chichen Itza only occurs on the summer equinox. The number of steps is also different. In this pyramid there are 65 steps on each side of the pyramid, which will add up to 260, the number of the days of the religious or sulking calendar. In the so-called rounded temple, on April 9 and September 2, the rise of the sun on the building illuminates the painted sun. These dates do not correspond to any important astronomical event, but they do manifest fundamental moments in the Mayan and other cultures of Mesoamerica. Recent finds and rediscovery of vestiges of mural painting in Mayapan places this Mayan city among the main exponents of this art in northern Yucatan. In general terms, the mural painting of Mayapan largely reflects the interrelationships of this ancient Mayan city with other Mesoamerican groups from the late postclassic that participated in this network of long-distance exchange. If you visit the archaeological site of Mayapan, you will be able to know a splendid Mayan city, whose decline almost coincided with the fall of American cultures at the hands of the Spanish, but which shows in its vestige the grandeur and magnificence of pre-Columbian cultures. As an additional point, having less tourist renown than Chichen Itza, Mayapan is not overrun with shops, which makes the visit very pleasant. If you like the video, remember to like it and subscribe. If you like the video, remember to like it and subscribe.